Hello everyone, it's the Historical Gamer once again, and today we're returning to our new series on Rule the Waves, a strategy game which puts you in the shoes of a Grand Admiral like Alfred von Tirpitz or Jackie Fisher during the early 1900s, the sort of arms race leading up to World War I. In our last episode, we designed 3 new ships, a battleship and 2 cruisers. We're now trying to bankrupt ourselves by constructing 13 cruisers and 4 battleships. We obviously won't be able to afford all of that, so we're going to have to start pausing some ships to save a little bit of money. We're also seeing tensions skyrocket. Our budget has increased pretty substantially. Our unrest level has also started to increase, so, Russia, the ever staunch, stalwart power with no internal dissent whatsoever, and I'm saying that tongue-in-cheek, obviously, is seeing some of its tension go up internally. And we're also bankrupting ourselves building these ships. So again, we're going to start slowing these things down, and we're going to see the tensions across the world increase, and perhaps, just perhaps, we will end up seeing ourselves in a war in this episode. Now, all of this was taken from a live stream from a couple of days ago that was done over on Twitch, on my Twitch channel. I'll link in the description. I'm continuing that series over there as well, so if you want to catch it, obviously follow me on over there. But I will continue to post the series here as well. So I'm going to go ahead and jump out. I'm going to go back into the audio from the live stream, and I hope you guys enjoy. Leave your thoughts below, and I'll meet you guys at the end. One of our minor Balkan allies is threatened by a neighbor. What policy do you recommend? Back them unconditionally, call an international peace conference, or try to get our ally to back down? So, call an international peace conference or back our ally. Backing our ally increases budget and tensions. I need more money. We're about to start a war with Germany, by the way, by the looks of it. All right, so we're failing to meet our construction demands by our admiral, but we do have a little bit of extra budget now. We'll go ahead and resume construction on one of these cruisers. And we'll resume construction on the other cruiser. We have enough money to do for one more turn, but not enough money to do for 2. Let's halt. Let's keep these halted. One of our ships is blown up under mysterious circumstances. Patrol boat number 11. There are suspicions, I don't have a patrol boat number 11, okay, that the blah 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 from Austria-Hungary might be responsible. I don't want to be at war with Austria-Hungary and Germany. This is a dastardly act. Increased budget and tensions. War! Oh god, that was dumb. War has broken out between Russia and Austria-Hungary. What? Okay. Immediately there's going to be a cruiser action. One second. Ah. All right, so there appears to be a cruiser action at the outbreak of war. Our order of battle is 1 light cruiser, 2 destroyers. I don't know what we're up against. We also have a support force. Don't know what these are. So we've got a lot of vessels. I don't know where they all are. Pause. All right, well, I guess we're just going to play because I don't... Unknown ship spotted. All right, so let's see what this is. Any of these other vessels in range? Like... All right, so that division's under AI control. All right, I'm really hoping this isn't an Austrian heavy cruiser. We've got a light cruiser and 2 destroyers in tow, so we'll just kind of fast forward until we identify the ship. All right, you guys, you should be under my control. I don't know what vessel it is. No way that's a battleship. Why would Austria have one battleship just all by itself out here? Let's keep closing the range. The heavy cruiser. So I don't know what that class is. Obviously that puts us at a disadvantage here. All right. So I could probably close the range with these guys. And maybe get in torpedo range. I'm not sure. I'm hoping it's not. Ah! So fire's been opened. 3 medium guns at our cruiser. Target straddled, no hits. Okay, so there you go. So we are engaged in combat. Does appear to be a heavy cruiser. Don't imagine we're going to... Let's crank the speed up here. 20 knot. 20... How fast can you guys go? Alright, you're going to go ahead and charge this guy. Miss. Let's take a look here. Status, any damage? No hits yet. What guns do you have? 4-inch guns? Alright, so I am basically following Nelsonian tactics here. I'm ordering vessels heavily outclassed to engage a vessel dramatically their superior. Alright. You're going to speed up 2. You can make 22 knots. You guys are going to speed up to your flank speed, 8 knots. And you're all going to chase. Alright. Log. Still don't know if anyone's actually been hit yet. I don't see anything that says anyone's been hit. No hits for you. No hits for you. And no hits for you. So everybody still looks okay. It's hard to tell what speed that guy's making. Drift course a bit. Alright, so these guys are going to target this division. And I'd like them to use their torpedoes, so we're not going to order them to hold fire. I think you just kind of have to hope. The way this game handles torpedo combat is always a little bit challenging. Now he can turn away from us. I think we are actually gaining some hits here. The audio here is ridiculous. Like, I'm sorry, I'm turning the sound off. How do I do that? This is enthralling viewing. You will enjoy. Yeah. Alright, so they've got a broadside on. I guess we'll just kind of let this go. Preferences. Here we go. Alright, so pause game. I don't really care about that. Where's the sound? See it. Sound effects. No sound effects. Alright. So, destroyers, you're going to turn back in. I really want you to try and launch a torpedo attack on this guy. We should be really good at gunnery, by the way. Something we've been training on for a while. This kind of just turns into us chasing him around the map. I wouldn't mind ramming my destroyer into him either. That does substantial damage. But this turned into more of a chase than I was hoping. He does seem to be pretty fast, though. No damage for those ships. Alright, so we haven't suffered any damage, really, which is great. I know this is not probably the most exciting battle. Still no damage. But again, we don't have guns that are really going to knock this thing out. That's the challenge. Alright, so our light cruiser has suffered a little bit of damage. You can see here, if we take a look here, it suffered how many hits? 84 rounds fired. It has suffered no hits, apparently. It must just be like a gun jammed or something. It scored 1 hit. It's grand. How about these vessels? How about our destroyers? How are they doing? Have they done any damage? These guys have 1 hit from Likoi, which has a little star next to it. Usually it means there's damage, but I think it's just because he has a gun jam. So we've scored 2 hits on the enemy. He has scored none on us yet. And here we go. Really want you guys to fire your frickin' torpedoes. That's the one thing about this game is you kind of just got to get your ships close to the enemy and hope that a torpedo hits. Probably gonna run on amp. Uh-oh. 2 medium caliber hits. This destroyer is flooding, and he's going to die. All right. Well, so much for that. Suppose we can always veer off. Where are those other ships? It'd be real great if we could, like, lure him this way. Let's plot our course and see if we can get him over there. I'm going to have the destroyer sail away. Rather not have them get sunk. Cruiser's been hit. Alright, scored a hit ourselves. See if we can lure him this way. Okay, so the destroyers are switching back to AI control. Nice. Alright, let's try and lure him this way. No, come back here, cruiser. Come back. Why don't you want to fight with us? Alright, so he's obviously trying to run now from our heavier squadron. Now that they've all come into view. So let's pause here. How fast are these ships? These are heavy cruisers, so I can't imagine they can make much speed. Let me take... No, I can't... It won't let me take over control of this squadron. Interesting. So these guys apparently are hard-coded into being... AI, but at least we're going to chase this guy down, presumably. At least the heavy cruiser will run out of ammo, I think. Try and box him in up against the coast over here. Oh, nice. He's going to turn back. So he's kind of boxed in by the coast. Our AI heavy cruisers are going to hopefully pin him in here where they can destroy him. That would be the hope. Come on, you guys. Destroy him. kind of annoying that I can't take control of him or of these other vessels. I'd really try and close the range and get some torpedoes in. Doesn't seem like he's taken much damage, though. Okay, destroyer signals misunderstood. That's fine. The annoying thing with this game is these like individual ship actions can take a little while. Yeah, we've got a fleet, but the enemy's got a single heavy cruiser. You'd think he'd be badly damaged by now. I really hope our cruisers aren't losing too heavily. I can't really see them because they're AI controlled. Just kind of hoping that we keep them pinned in here. Really great if some of these vessels exhibited more Nelsonian traits. He's still moving around pretty good, though. You can see there's hits. Okay, there it goes. So the heavy cruiser is sinking. It was hit by a torpedo by that light cruiser, which closed in. You can see here in terms of damage at the end of that battle, we did lose one of our destroyers, sunk, but the enemy lost a heavy cruiser, so it's going to be a major Russian victory. A destroyer sunk versus a heavy cruiser sunk. Huge difference in terms of tonnage and prestige and all of that. A little bit of damage by another destroyer and our light cruiser. The rest of our vessels were unhurt. And a bonus for 2 surviving merchantmen. He didn't hurt any of our merchant ships, so there you go. A victory in the grandest of fashions. The heavy cruiser was the Minerva. You can see here it had 2 9-inch guns, 8 6-inch guns, and it sunk. It suffered 11 light hits, 44 medium hits. It scored 17 hits of its own, of which you can see this light cruiser, the one that we were commanding here, 10 4-inch guns, moderate structure and flotation damage, 7 medium hits. The destroyer that we lost sunk, suffered 2 medium hits, which is all that it took, apparently. Actually, it says heavy damage, so it hasn't even sunk yet, but I'm assuming the end result is sinking. In any event, it was a victory for us. So, scenario. And you can see here a Russian major victory. We gain 1 prestige, 1,000 victory points. The enemy gets 88. And Austria-Hungary's laid down a new minesweeper. Okay. Unexplained delays. Germany's laid down a new minesweeper. And there you go. So we're at war with Austria. Relations with Germany are tense. France, Japan, everybody's tense. But we just won a victory in the Far East against Austria-Hungary. If we go to the global situation, we've got 13 battleships. Austria has 9. They have 6 that they're constructing. Jeez, they're building a lot of battleships. They just lost one of their heavy cruisers, which is in service. They have 9 more, so their navy is actually pretty darn big. Our funding, actually, because we're at war, just increased substantially. So we can go ahead and unhalt some of these, resume some of these traits. We also don't have any build requirements now that we are at war. So I guess our requirements that our admiral laid down are gone. I'm hoping we're not at war for 20 months and don't need these battleships to come online, but we'll see. We don't have any submarines, so we don't have to worry about that. We don't have any vessels on patrol, so we should go ahead and send some of these vessels out on patrol. We'll use these destroyers on patrol and assign them. Is the... Alright, so they'll be on coastal patrol. You can see here we have to have at least 10 vessels on patrol. Those 3 destroyers will be on coastal patrol. The rest, I think, we'll leave. We'll put 2 more. There's... No, actually, you shouldn't do that. I think our destroyers should all be coastal patrols. Alright, so 10 vessels are on coastal patrol. I'm going to go ahead and assign some of these vessels here. Actually, let's assign all these Northeast Asia Well, there you have it, everybody. A victory, a grand start to the war. We're just 1 month in, but we won a very famous, 1,000 victory points is pretty substantial. So we won what seems to be a very famous naval action out in Asia with our forces based out of Port Arthur. It was a little bit tedious to get everything all in position, and fortunately those AI vessels came up to aid us. That really tipped the scales in our favor. Eventually we got a torpedo into the enemy ship and just battered it to smithereens. It does show how some of these battles can become a little bit tedious in this game over time, but nonetheless, we're off to a great start in this war. 1,000 victory points for us, only 88 for our adversary, and we're just 1 month into the war. Hopefully this will be a quick war and a quick victory, and we can start kind of going back to our normal policy. I don't think Austria has that much that we can gain from taking things from them, but we'll see. In our next episode, we will see how the war progresses. We'll see multiple new ship engagements here. You can see there's one coming on the screen right now, although I believe this particular... I can't remember if this engagement actually results in anything, or if this is just kind of one of those... This game has a tendency to kind of have ships just sail around, and sometimes you spot the enemy, and if you do, you engage, and sometimes you don't, and after a while the battle ends. And I kind of feel like this is one of the latter, but we'll find out here in a moment. With that being said, guys, I really want to hear your input, your feedback, how you're enjoying this series. I'm also thinking about doing another Rule the Waves series as Germany, where I kind of talk more about the historical designs and try and model my fleet more on the actual real-life German fleet. I've got a great book that talks about the German battle cruisers during World War I, and I think it would be fun to kind of review that and talk about some of those vessels. It's like 300 pages, about 9 ships, and goes into very minute detail. I may have talked about it on the stream, so I may be repeating myself, but it goes into some minute detail, really, about the German ships and their designs and all of that, as well as like, oh, the ship was hit here by this shell, it did this damage, this is the amount of time it took to repair, just like a lot of really interesting pieces to some of these ships' history. So I think a German Let's Play series could be a little bit of fun. I don't have any resources like that on the Russian Navy, and frankly, their story is a little bit more depressing with their defeats at the hands of the Japanese in the Russo-Japanese War, where they really didn't do much well anyway. With that being said, this is going to be a battle where we just kind of sail around and do not much of anything. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and sign off here, and we will rejoin this conflict and this war that is off to such a promising start in our next episode. And we will see if the Tsarist naval forces, the Russian naval forces, can continue to have the same level of success in our future endeavors as they have to this point in our initial endeavors. But until that point in time, I hope you guys are enjoying the series, and this is the Historical Gamer saying thank you for watching, and until next time, I'm out.